What up, Internet? What is going on? It is Monday. It is Monday. It is Monday. Welcome to Monday afternoon on planet Earth, where we all live here on the old planet Earth. Let's see. First one to the chat. Gone mad. First one to arrive. Oh, so elegantly with a hi. Steven Skoglund is here. What is up with the Mr. Chips Monday Super Show? That is right, but Mr. Chips is, he's feeling a little timid today. He doesn't necessarily want to be, he doesn't want to be on the internets. He doesn't want to be on the internets. I don't know why. I asked him. I was like, hey, bud, you want to go on the internets? And he went like this. Oh, I don't think so. I don't want to do it. So, we are Mr. Chipsless today, but, hey man, my apologies. He'll probably come in here in a little while once he's not so, once he's not feeling so shy. Kevin Keener is here. What is up? Candy Overhauls, good to see you. Punky Pam, hola. The Lone Aquarist is here. Good day on this sad day. Yes, we will get to that at some point in time, I'm sure. Jordan Leroy. Iris is here. Hey, stuck at work. Oh no, it's like 7 o'clock where you guys are. Still stuck at work. Not a lot of fun. Frank Dominguez is here. Derek Runyon, what up? Hey, FU2 is here. Phil Emerson, what's up? Michael Hoffman, Crystals. I don't know how to say that one. Crystals, I think. Crystals. Okay, I don't know. I tried, man. Rob Hicks is here. Whoa, bash the mic, sorry. I'm scratching my arm. Rob Hicks, what's up from Canada? Dank Tanks is here with the internet. Nisi is here, our moderator of the North. The Northland moderator. From coming all the way from Alaska. Jordan Leroy, I pronounce your surname better than you do. Mary Beth Mabe is here. What is up? Turbo Fish. If I didn't say hi, well, hi again. And yeah, we have the duo of Gone Mad and Iris is here. We like that. We like to have the glorious union of two humans in the chat. We like that. I don't know. I was trying to figure out how to say that, but I don't know. I tried to come up with something on the spot, and jeez. I don't know if anybody out there has noticed that this Monday is zipping by at 1,000,000 miles an hour, because that's what's been going on with me. I'm not 100% sure what happened. Every time I worked on a project, it seemed like an hour went by all of a sudden, and then it was an hour later, and I've just been kind of trying to run around and get everything done today, and who knows if I did. I don't think I did. But I have made the decision to go ahead and pull the trigger and just order Adobe, because I am tired of Sony Vegas, because we have a long video segment today with a special thank you to Sony Vegas for being unable to edit it. So it's going to be long. I'll try to jump through the clips here of what's going on today, and I I couldn't figure out how to title today's video, honestly. But the 150 is getting some plants. But one of the big things is that I'm going to show you guys another way how to build a driftwood piece that's going to go into the aquarium. I'll explain to you how I kind of look at it for those of you out there that maybe, because I often run into people that are like, I don't have the artistic look, I can't figure it out, I can't figure out how to do things artistically. But I will talk you guys through that today, how to kind of maybe take a couple of steps and figure out how to go like, oh, okay, that's how I can kind of move these things around a little bit. Then we're also going to be putting a bunch of moss onto the driftwood. I'll show you guys how to do that. And along with some Trident Java Fern, which is going to be added into that piece. And it goes into the tank, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys right now. The lighting on the tank is completely terrible. So I will reshoot putting that into the tank because the video just looks like garbage. It's really like... what's happening in the video? I don't know what's happening in the video. So that was really the kind of the thing. I think it might. I don't think it made it into the video portion, but I just want to show you guys how to really make this stuff and how to kind of tackle it with how you guys are doing. How you guys are going about doing some of your scaping stuff that may or may not seem really confusing, but hopefully I can give you guys some pointers that will help help figure that out on your end, you know, so you can go, okay, I'm gonna put 1 plus 1 and then it's gonna equal 2, and then 2 makes sense because it goes in the tank. Yeah, Kevin Keener, it puts the moss in the tank, or it gets the hose again. Good point. That's a good point. That's right. Nobody wants to be murdered, you know. Okay. Let's not get all weird. Let's not get super weird. Today was a very traumatic day out there for everybody, I believe. I don't think that there is anyone on this planet that hasn't noticed the and I just want to get this out of the way really quickly. My thoughts are with all the people in Las Vegas right now, having dealt with that tragedy that is going on, and what a miserable situation that everybody has to deal with in regards to that. And no, I'm not going to get into gun control. I'm not going to get into any of that stuff here. I just want to say, hopefully everybody is just dealing with it the best they can, realistically. That's basically the only advice I can give to anybody out there. And no, I'm not gonna talk about all the stupid issues surrounding it. I just want to take the 20-30 seconds here to say that our thoughts and prayers are with all those people, and it is a huge tragedy if somebody decides to take someone else's life in their own hands. It was a weird way to wake up this morning, honestly. You know, got up at 5:30, like I normally do, and everybody was the news, and it was already just, everything was just saying Las Vegas. I didn't know what was going on. I came in, I looked it up, and it's just kind of speechless, realistically, about how terrible that situation is. But yeah, yeah, hopefully we'll get some more information at some point in time that is real information as opposed to what they're giving us now. So I'm turned off from it, and I hope everybody else can just take a chance to come on the show here and have some laughs and talk about some fish stuff, and not necessarily be whiling away with all of the bad news that is going on out there in the world. So that's kind of the point of this, is to be able to have a little bit of fun and do some of this fun fish stuff that we like to do, because that's what we really like to do. So we'll get back to that, but just wanted to take a couple seconds there to say that thoughts and prayers are with everybody out there in regards to that. Okay, so back to the non-solemn voice, and let's just move on from the bad news. And Derek Runyon is asking, hey, am I going to Chicago? Yes, I am going to Chicago and that is where I will be. I will be there for the whole Chicago aquatic experience, which reminds me I need to double check on my passes, make sure that that's good to go. Which shouldn't be a huge ordeal. Should be pretty readily figured out. Nothing too out of this world. Oh, I forgot to click the thing over here, you guys. What did I do? Here it is. There we go. Let's click the thing, and all right, we're good. Okay, we're good over there. I forgot to click the thing over there, guys. But there we go. All right, let's get that thing all sorted out there. Runyon is asking, yes, so I will be at the Chicago Aquatic Experience. Not sure what else other things I'll be making it to or not or whatever. Anybody that wants to help out with heading to the Chicago Aquatic Experience, that is not going to be a free trip for me, so everything's coming out of pocket. So I just posted the Patreon there. Anybody who wants to help support the channel and help me going out there to do video and meet all the people and bring all the stuff and all that kind of stuff, you can go to the Patreon page and help support if you like. If this is something that you enjoy, an opportunity to come on here and be part of the community. You can go all the way from $1 up to $100 million if you want it on the Patreon. You can always change it whenever you feel like changing it. It's once a month at the end of the month, and it's basically just it's like sponsoring or whatever. If you wanna sponsor, that's kind of basically how the Patreon works. So hopefully we'll see. Rob Hicks loves the art behind me. Thank you very much. If you'd love to commission, if you'd like to commission a piece of my art, you can go to darkstararts.com. Of course, I'm not ready to have that into the into the chat like a dork. There, I typed it in there. Darkstararts.com. If you're looking for something this is one of my assured styles that I do all of the time, which is a pixelated kind of pixelated portraits in black and gray kind of thing that I like to do. I do quite a bit of these. I know a lot of people have commissioned them, from Johnny Depp to people's moms, you know. I just need a good picture to work off of if it's somebody like your mom or whatever. Let's see. Turbofish, yes, my fish crush will be here in Chicago. Yes, I will be there. Hopefully I get to meet everyone. Hopefully I get to meet everyone in the whole entire world while I'm at Chicago, right? You know, but hopefully I get to meet everybody that can make it. And I assume it's going to be a lot of fun. From everything that I've been looking at in regards to what is going on in the Chicago experience, that the aquatic experience, that it should be a lot of fun. Apparently, you can kiss a sea lion at some point. So we'll see if everybody gets to kiss a sea lion or not. All right. So, let's see. Michael Hoffman saying, I'm worried that Adobe won't be any better. Many high-end video cards don't support the protocols used by both Sony and Adobe. Well, either way, we spent over $400 to use Sony Vegas, and it's going to be about $50 to work with Adobe for a month. So, worst case scenario, Adobe doesn't work, and I'm not happy with it, and I'll just unsubscribe and lose my license to use it. And at least it'll only be a $50 thing instead of acquiring the new version of Sony Vegas now that's out, because it was Sony Vegas was sold to a company called Magix, which is a German company, and it seems now that, surprisingly enough, over the last couple months, the video cards don't necessarily work with the Sony Vegas, right? And now all of a sudden a new one comes out, and so every time I log out of it, it says I should buy the new version that works so much better than the old version, which they just sold to us 8 months ago, or sorry, 10 months ago. It's October now. and which is a kind of shady operation, and I don't think I want to give them another $300 because I'm pretty poor at this point, so I don't necessarily want to go down that road with those dudes and just be like, well, here's $300 more. Does it work now? Did you fix it? Because you didn't fix the one that was good a month ago. It was the new one. Now there's a new one. That was, yeah. So I don't, you know, I don't look forward to going any. I don't look forward to be going down that road. A lot of people saying hi, Rob. Hi, Rob. Hi, Rob. Oh, Flip Aquatics, Rob. What's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Come on out. Dank Tanks is asking, have I ever done any animation? I have done some limited animation type stuff. I am not your go-to for animation. That ain't me. I'm not the guy. I mean, I could do it, but it would be lower quality and it would take me an exorbitant amount of time, realistically. So I wouldn't be the animation production dude for you, but I have done some of it, and yeah. Wushu Jimmy Brown is saying, still haven't received the notification, just figured he was on. I know that Nisi had to leave at some point in time. But she does have a Facebook page that does put up the live stream information every day. They do they post that up early on so you guys can get notified about that. And I'm never good at having the link for it, so hopefully somebody in the chat has the link for it. I should make sure I have that link. Although I've had that thought before, and I still don't have the link now, so better write it down, right? Wushu Jimmy Brown says that he normally gets a notification, but have to just repeat the first 10 minutes. Okay, we'll just go right over it again. The Lone Aquarius says that's why I'm a reef aquarist, for escapism. Well, you know, it's an escape from your everyday reality, which is great. Oh yeah, these are some of the comments in regards to the tragedy. I think we're just gonna move on. I think we're just gonna move on from any of that talk. So not to disregard anybody's comments or anything, but we'll just move on from that. Jordan Leroy, my local fish club has a koi talk tomorrow night. Looking forward to it and getting more new plants off of a member. Oh, I think they're... When is the GSAS? I think it's the last Tuesday in the month or something like that. So I think the local Seattle club I'd have to drive up to. But I think that's the last Tuesday of the month. And I think Corey from Aquarium Co-op was the last presenter at the at that one. Which I just talked to Corey if I need to know something. if that's the wrong thing to say right now. It was just kind of the truth. And I found out about it after, so I didn't get a chance to go up to it. I didn't know he was doing it, otherwise I probably would have gone. I don't know if Corvus is ready to kiss a sea lion. Maybe he should start with the seal and work his way up to a sea lion. That's a good point. I might not be ready for that, those monster kisses, if you know what I'm saying. Jordan Leroy says, post the link to the Facebook page in the community tab. That is a great point. The problem is, the only way I can... Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on a second here. Oh. Yeah. One of the weird things is that, like, the community tab is really only accessible from my phone, if that makes any sense to you. So I'll try to copy it and paste it from my phone and see if that works. That might work. So maybe I'll be able to do that. But yeah, it's a big help from Nisi that does the she posts the live streams, which live streams are coming along and that kind of stuff. So Candy Overall says the name. It's called Aquarium Live Streams Information. You can just look that up on Facebook. But yeah, Jordan, that is a great point. I'll post it in the community tab so people can find it a little bit easier. Yeah, I don't even know if we have any mods in the chat right now. I know that Most of our mods are off gallivanting around doing whatever they're doing. Nisi had to go. She had some personal stuff to take care of, so she was doing that. Let's see. Rarutu is here. He has not been around in a long time. I don't know why. I probably scared him off. Probably scared him off. Michael Hoffman, I can just tell you what the what graphics card I have. It's the RX 480, which should be compatible with Adobe. Everything everything that I've seen on that should work fine. And it also said that it should work fine with Sony Vegas. So we'll see. Basically what I'm going to do is basically what I'm going to do is just kind of test it out, see if it's something that I like, and it does kind of affect you guys, so that's kind of why I brought it up. Oh, Potato's here. We do have a mod here for sure. We got Potatoes lurking. Potato is lurking. Rurutu is saying I should sell my video card for a GTX. I have a GTX 1060, which works fine. It's fine. It just in comparison to the RX 480, the RX 480 renders much faster than the GTX series. But here's the screwball thing: is that I have a GTX 560. Which renders faster than my 1060. How do you like them apples? Side-by-side benchmark test in the same rig. The 560 actually renders faster, but there is always the option of firing up the third computer in here, but I'm not super into that right now, so I'm just going to see if Adobe is a better workaround. Plus, we do have some collaboration type stuff coming along. I don't know if anybody tuned in this weekend. If anybody was paying attention to the Aquarium Co-op, Jimmy of Aquarium Co-op page, we did a three-person collaborative stream, and hopefully, if anybody watched that, did anybody watch that? I can't remember. The chat was moving by so fast. I can't remember exactly who was there, and it was kind of late night for me at that point. We'd run a 5K earlier in the day, which was for suicide prevention on Saturday. We did a 5K for charity for suicide prevention. Raised $56,000 for suicide prevention, which is gonna go a really long way. That is gonna go a really long way, and I was super appreciative to be a part of it. We had some work to do because we helped set up the table and that kind of stuff, for release some pamphlets for some information and like all that kind of stuff, which was really cool. It was really great to be kind of involved in it without, honestly, I didn't have to do much work to actually kind of be involved. If that makes sense. So that was really cool, and it was really great to see how much money was raised. And we did a lot of good stuff. But by the time the collaboration had come around, we'd done a 5K. We dug a bunch of holes in the yard. We got a bunch of stuff done. Working here at home. We just was a very, very, very busy day. So by the time of the night, I can't remember exactly who was in the chat and whatnot. But we did test out doing a collaborative live stream with video. Corey and I and Jimmy, we all did that one, and we did have some minor problems that we may have to work out here a little bit in the future. You dumb. Gretchen, great. Gretchen, well, whoever Gretchen is, that's your first warning. You only get one warning, and then you can just, go away and go do something else. Oh yeah, I have the ultimate mod banhammer. right here. I got it right here in my hand, so I'm not that worried about it. Yeah, so Tim Lewis was saying I kept resizing, so we had a little bit of a we had a little bit of an issue, but it was a lot of fun and it was pretty good. And the reason I bring it up is because tomorrow, Corey and I will be doing another podcast stream. I'm not sure how we're going to go about doing it, but we're going to be doing that tomorrow in the morning. So I want to let people know, get it into your head that we're going to be doing a podcast, and I don't have the links for it because we were kind of just chatting about it. I don't have anything readily available ahead of time to let you guys know where to go or whatever and any of that kind of stuff. So our preliminary idea is to release some of the highlights on the weekends, and then the full Monty will be released before the highlights, if that makes sense. So we'll do the podcast just audio format, and then edit down some highlights to be released on the weekends, so that the people that only like to enjoy our bright and shiny faces, then that you guys will be able to watch that just on the weekend. Otherwise, the podcast format will just be audio, so it's kind of a long format of us jabbering on and all that kind of stuff. But I do know that that will be accessible from Corey's podcast. He has like a podcast app, and I just don't have the link with it right now. Ella Gregory at 8 p.m. tonight. Steenfot and Jimmy's Aquarium Coop will be streaming. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that was one of the things that we were working on, is trying to collaborate, like all four of us, to try and get together. And the resizing issues that so video kept resizing and doing all this weird stuff. So they're gonna run this with Bob Steenfot, which is dope. I hope everybody is there. Everybody go to that tonight at 8 o'clock, which is 3.5 hours from now. So so that's kind of what's coming in the works. And because it's tomorrow, I'll just give people a shout and let you know to keep an eye out for it. So that'll be coming. We can still see the Gretchen's message on the video chat. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's just life. It's just life sometimes. I think most people have... oops, I forgot. I can't scroll up that way. And it makes it get crazy in the video over there. There are bots out there that tell you to go watch live girls or whatever and that kind of horse shit. Sorry, it's just part of the internet. And, you know... Some people are idiots and they got to post stuff like that. Like I said, you get the one chance and then you just get permanently banned. So you get the timeout and then you just get permanently banned. That's kind of the rule around here. I don't care if people occasionally drop a swear word or anything like that. So anybody that's new here, I'm just going to explain how this show works or whatever. This is sort of like PG-13, right? If somebody occasionally swears or something like that, it's not a big deal. If it's in context of just... you know, a conversational piece, it's not a big deal. I don't censor people or anything like that. But if you are egregious nonsense, then you just go away. That's kind of the thing. We don't direct stuff at each other. We don't talk trash necessarily to each other. Everybody in the community here is pretty darn helpful. I have been wrong on many occasions, and we've had lots of people able to help correct me if I happen to be jabbering on too fast, or maybe say the wrong medicine or something like that. If that makes sense, we've definitely done stuff like that, and definitely had to we've definitely had to correct some things in the past or whatever, and I'm happy to be a part of this community and stuff. So let's see. Root, who says Bob's stream should start in 30 minutes. I think yeah, Bob's stream starts at 5 o'clock, but I think they must be doing 2. I think would be my guess. I guess Bob's or I don't know. Either way, whatever. All right, let me catch up on the chat here real quick. Oh, so maybe they're just collaborating at 5 o'clock. Okay, I don't know. Maybe Bob's is at 5. and 5 my time, maybe 8 East Coast. Okay, yeah, so maybe they're all just going live at 5. I like that. Bentley Pasco is saying October 10th. I don't know when you said that, but it popped up over there. So maybe maybe when you said that was because the fish fish club meeting is actually on the 10th. So maybe it's the second Tuesday or something. October 10th is the GSAS meeting. Okay, yeah. So maybe maybe it's the second Tuesday. Maybe I thought it was the last. I don't know. Maybe I thought it was the last Tuesday of the month. I don't know why. Who knows? Recently, I did get a couple of people that were a little bit pissed off that I do bring up from time to time, like the Patreon and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I do a little bit of advertising for the projects that I'm working on here because most of the stuff that we do is sort of crowdfunded or whatever. It is just an open source. You guys can go to the Patreon and see what's going on with the Patreon and stuff. One of the big reasons is I want to get rid of all advertising, and I generally do a little bit of advertising where I kind of try to make fun of myself a little bit for being a dork and doing stuff like that. So I know that it does kind of irritate people that I kind of talk about it. It's like NPR at times, and it does irritate me a little bit. But realistically, I could just make a GoFundMe and tell everybody that my fish room burned down or something, and I need $100,000 to put up my new fish room or whatever. But that's not really what we're working on here. We're working on doing more and more projects, building more collaborations, which takes time out of my day. So that's the reason for the Patreon. It's the reason for talking about it and that kind of stuff. It's just like $1 to $5, $10 a month if it's something that you like and you want me to keep this show going. So I know that people are a little bit irritated by it. I am too. At some point in time, we'll be at a point where we don't need to talk about the Patreon anymore, and we'll just be like answering questions off of the Patreon on a regular basis. There is a community tab on there, which is a great way to post a question up within the community, so that's also helpful. You can post pictures up there, you can do that kind of stuff, and you're kind of within the group community of the Patreon people, and you get first access to me answering questions, because direct messaging somebody on YouTube is insane. I don't know if you've ever like gone to someone's homepage and trying to figure out how to message somebody. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy to try and figure that kind of stuff out. The Patreon's super easy. You can click on the community tab and just leave a post, just like you were on whatever. So as Rob Hicks was saying, Patreon's a lot better than giving 40% to YouTube. YouTube takes a lot because of the super chats and all that kind of stuff. They take all that money and stuff. So that's just the way that it works out. And I feel like the Patreon is also, it's really open source. So people can, like, you know, not only can you interact with it, you could post stuff up there and I could get to it like on tomorrow's show or Monday's show or whatever. And answer people's questions and stuff. So I think it's pretty cool. And, maybe it's dumb, but like Vince Grippa was asking me about, oh, whoops, I'm not logged in on this computer. No wonder. But Vince Grippa was asking me about some swim bladder issues that he was having with his, some gold rams that he got in. They got kind of stuck in the mail. They got stuck in the mail. They're having a little bit of problems. They got switched containers by the post office people. So who knows? He got some pretty sick fish. He got some pretty sick fish in the mail. He had one with a bad swim bladder. He was asking me some advice on what to do, how to treat it. If you go to the Patreon page, you can look at it and you can see his post. So we talked about what to do with the swim bladder, what could be some potential issues. Some potential issues that had happened with the fish from the kind of crazy trip that they had, what could be going on and how to go around it. And there's a picture of his fish after 4 or 5 days of treatment, and they're doing pretty well. So that's like kind of a perfect example right there. of kind of the reason for the Patreon is, like, you know, with the there's a whole bunch of creators out there that have a Patreon page. You could put like $1 to a lot of those guys and hook them up and that kind of stuff. And it's a great way to interact too. So it's a lot easier for me to interact through that than people trying to find the direct message button on YouTube is insane. It is ridiculous to try and find. It is nuts. Let's see, Travis Hemming, there's a sand shortage, if you can believe it. That's why larger tanks are no longer $1 per gallon. Oh yeah, the $1 per gallon sale. Yeah, there is a huge silica shortage for making glass. Is realistically a what's going on with some of that. Jim Meeker saying that 50% off on the bigger tanks, but I don't know. I get into bigger tanks, and last thing I want to do is spend that kind of money on a glass tank, realistically. Although this week I did see a post from I don't know, a local aquarium builder that had posted up a 480-gallon aquarium that was 24 inches tall. Which, you guys know, acrylic aquariums that are 24 inches tall and very big get me going. This one is 480 gallons, so it's 48 deep, 24 tall, and 8 foot wide. And Vicky probably wanted to throw my phone in the garbage for having looked at that. But beautiful tank that had already been built too. It was already built, so it was like, come pick it up today, or we'll bring it to you. And it's like, oh damn it, it's built. Ella Gregory was saying you can direct message someone on YouTube. I didn't know you could do that. Yes, you can direct message people on YouTube. The only people that I can direct message back are the ones that have direct messaged me in the past, realistically, because I cannot find that button for the life of me. But people like Cichlid Bro, trying to think of who else off the top of my head, but like Cichlid Bro, Potato, like all those guys, like I have a direct message feed from those guys. We have a long string of talking in there, and so I can actually just go in there and just reply to the previous DMs that I've gotten before. So it's like, but I'll tell you this much: if I was gonna go try to direct message somebody that I hadn't messaged before, I cannot find it. It's super difficult to figure out how to do it. Like I have to watch like a how-to video before I can like figure out how to like sort out where that button is. So Michael Hoffman saying same dimensions as Rob's new build. Oh, is Rob doing a 48 480 like that? Oh my God. Drooling all over that. Is a sexy ass tank. I used to have a 375 that was that dimension, so 24 tall, but it was 3 foot wide and 8 foot long. If you guys remember that tank was around for a while in the old the fish room up. I think I was in West Seattle at the time. I think I was in West Seattle at the time when I had that. Yeah, I think. Bentley Pasco is asking how much was said tank. I think $2,900 is what they were asking for it. A brand new acrylic, 3/4 inch acrylic, beautiful tank. It was like $2,900. Oh yeah, Kevin Keener says to go to the Patreon. A push to buy the 460 gallon. Yeah, I mean, I already got the 22,000 gallon aquarium approved from Vicky. If we can hit that goal, that's a huge goal. It is much less likely to get a 480. A 480 would mean that I would have to completely reconfigure the fish room and all that kind of stuff. That is way less likely than doing a 22,000 gallon tank, if that makes any sense. Because a 22,000 gallon tank, I'd pour a concrete pad out there. I'd run all the electrical, run all the plumbing, all that kind of stuff out to that portion of the property out there. So that would be like a whole new project that would actually be an addition to the property. But a 480 would just be me screwing around, right? With what basically I already have. I already have a bunch of big tanks, and it would just be me screwing around with tanks. And Vicky's not exactly necessarily the happiest camper when it comes to me just monkeying around with more tanks. which is why we have a nice fish room with the right amount of tanks and the right amount of water. I'm super stoked to have that 150 in there. That 150 is realistically the perfect size and everything to be messing with. I've also got my 240 and the 180 in there, and at some point in time we'll switch Vicky's tank over to a 120 whenever one of those comes up. But realistically, a 480 is less likely than the 22,000 gallon tank, because that big ass 22,000 gallon tank would essentially, so the concrete pad and everything that would get poured out there with all the plumbing that would be done and stuff is essentially you'd have a RV hookup out there after, like, because it's a modular tank, we'd be able to take it with us if we moved somewhere else and sold the property. So if we sold the property, we'd essentially have like a really awesome RV hookup in the back of our property back here with direct access to the plumbing and water and power and all that kind of stuff. So it would be an improvement to the property, which is one of the big reasons that I was like, hey, I got this crazy idea. If this gets funded, what do you think? And she was like, well, you're crazy, but if that gets funded, we'll do it. We'll kick ass and get that done. I will have to get a permit for the pad and the plumbing. But that's actually really easy to permit because it's not a big deal. It's not a real big deal to permit the a pad and stuff like that. But it would be an improvement to the property. So like if we ever did sell the property, we would take that tank with us and then sell it like, oh, check out this super sweet RV parking you got back here. It's very sexy, right? You could park your RV here permanently, long term, short term, however you like it. Voila, you know. And so we could definitely sell that thing for sure. Let's see, Mary Beth Mabe, on the Patreon, does it try to do a charge each month, or is it like one time, then you have to remind to pay? It will charge once a month, but you can always change how much you want to be charged. So, you know, for instance, if somebody if somebody was, say they were supporting at like $50 a month, right, and maybe they had an issue or something as things went along, you could always just change it down to $5 or $1 or $0. You can always just turn it on or turn it off, but it will charge once at the end of the month, and it just is right at the end of the month. You know, I think it's much easier that way than like the super chat feature or any of that kind of stuff. Like, I think it realistically is much better personally. Like, I just think it's kind of the right way if you wanted to support people. And I know a bunch of people have them, a bunch of people that have Patreons and stuff like that. And I think it's just kind of the right way to go, especially because, you know, if somebody was to super chat like $100, right, maybe I just don't come on tomorrow. Right? And you're like, what happened to him? I don't know. He just didn't come on anymore. Whereas the Patreon would definitely give you some lead-in time to go like, oh, hey, I don't think this last month dude only made 2 videos and it was stupid and I don't think it's worth my $5. It's a big waste of time. You can just turn it off. So I think it's pretty cool that way because it's also, you know, as the people that are making stuff and making videos and everything, it keeps us pretty accountable. That's the way I feel. Like when I patronize somebody, I feel that those people are, it's much easier to keep them accountable if they don't make anything. It's like, I'm just going to turn it off on the 28th or whatever, you know, and not get charged. So it's one of the upsides, one of the downsides, but I think it has more upside than down personally. Iced coffee. Iced coffee is definitely needed today. Flip Aquatics saying that is a great deal for that tank. Yes, it is a great deal for that tank. I think a lot of it had to do with I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that it was already built. I think maybe the buyer fell out. But it was but I think it was pretty bitchin', a bitchin' tank. I want it so bad, but there's just no reason I need it. I don't need it. I want it. And so it's just like one of those things that I just have to go like, Yeah, no, it's beautiful, and hopefully whoever gets it does something bitching with it, and hopefully I get to see it. Hopefully I get to see it at some point in time. Oh, Corey's saying he pretty much tracks me via GPS to make sure I earn my Patreon, which is it's a pretty good point. I do want to mention this right now as we start the video here. Because I mentioned it this Saturday when we did the three-man stream, the three man's stream on Saturday with those guys, is that I have stepped away from doing big construction jobs. I don't, that's not what I want to continue doing long term. I do love doing construction jobs, you guys. I love building stuff. I love doing that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, most of the jobs that I get involved in these days are the kind of stuff that I don't want to do necessarily, which is like, you know, redo somebody's cabinets or whatever. And that's not something I realistically want to do, right? I don't want to resurface somebody's old cabinets. I want to make some new cabinets, you know what I mean? So I've kind of stepped away from doing that stuff, and I'm just going to keep working on doing these shows, and we're going to see how it goes over the next month. We're going to be doing the... God damn it. Get out of here. Go away. Sorry, Ursula. You don't even get one. You don't get one warning. Screw it. Get out of here. There's not even a warning for that. All right. Sorry about that, guys. I got distracted by some stupid nonsense. But as I was saying, this is pretty much making all of these shows is pretty much the thing I'm going to focus on for the next month, and that's it. I'm not going to be screwing around with going off location unless it's like a fish tank job. So if somebody needs plumbing or fish tank or aquaponics system built at their house or whatever, I'm going to go do that stuff. So when I go off location, it will be something that I will shoot for video and bring to the show and stuff like that. So well, hey guys, you know, the bots do suck, but that just means we're doing well. That just means that we're doing well. You guys are hitting the like button enough. The stuff is getting shared out enough that the bots, they come here automatically, which is a good sign, you guys. I mean, it sucks that the bots come on and tell you to look at naked girls or whatever the hell it said. But it is a good sign because that means you guys are hitting the like button. People are sharing this and getting it out there. That means it's good. Our community is doing well, and I will be going through and adding some more moderators here fairly soon. So I know that Rob was mentioning that people on the Patreon, just turn all the people on the Patreon into moderators, but some of the people on Patreon don't want to be moderators. So I want to make sure that people want to do it. I know that certain people like myself don't want to be moderators on everybody's streams because my big fat thumbs, they're not that fat. They're just clumsy. Excuse me, hold on. I had to burp. I'm just clumsy, and I know that this has happened in the past, that people have accidentally been kicked from from chats and stuff because oftentimes the chat's flying by a million miles an hour on your phone, and you know, it's like, oops, I just tried to delete the comment and I just deleted the wrong person. So it just, as far as the moderators go, it just has to be the right fit if somebody's going to do that, and I'm not just going to turn people into moderators. So I will probably send out a message to the patronizers and see who wants to be a moderator and who doesn't. If those guys that are really willing to be here, then we'll get some more moderators or whatnot. But it's a good sign. That just means that it's just getting out there to more people, and then the bots start showing up. It's not like they're actual people that want to do anything mean to us. They're just a programmed, you know, they're just a program. They're just a programmed program. Jordan Leroy saying, I really like the idea of fixing the wood bases, but I'm a flaky scaper, so I don't think it would work for me. Yeah, I understand. I understand. Like, some people this would work, and some people this doesn't work. For somebody like me who's always screwing around in my tanks and stuff like that, this is a better option for me. I've showed people in the past that you can actually just, you know, you can soak your wood and then just jam it down into the substrate and kind of move it around wherever you want. But somebody like me who's always messing around in there, I normally bump that stuff and it gets knocked over, or it'll fall over or something goofy. And I also want to be able to, as you guys watch this video progress, you'll see why I want all of the pieces of driftwood to stay in a certain direction. I want them to stay where they are, because as we add plants to them, we don't want the plants to be in the wrong spot when we put it in the tank, if that makes sense, because this whole unit is going to go into the tank as one, with the plants on it, with the mosses glued to it, with all that stuff in there. Oh, did I let that slip? Did I let the glue slip? Yes, this will be nicely glued onto the back, and you obviously you guys will get to see the long format here, because the editing was less than fair. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit so we can get to the part where it's almost done. And you can see here where so I do have that circle of acrylic, right, that I'm screwing them onto. You can see me moving it around and looking at it, right, because this is going to go in a corner. So I'm looking at the one side, the direction that I'm looking at it from, as if there's a corner right behind it, and which direction all the wood is going to come. So I'm able to move it around and do all that kind of stuff and see where it's going to be in the corner, and that the pieces of driftwood are actually going in the way that I want them to go. So when you're scaping wood into a corner, you want it actually to go up and out towards you from the corner, and not. And so I want every single piece of wood to be coming out as if from the corner, coming out towards the front of the tank. That is essentially the best way to make it look. That is the best way to go about doing it. And so you can see here, I'm spinning it around, and then I can move all the little pieces of wood so that they're all going away from the corner towards the front of the tank. And then once I place it in the corner, it'll look like it's growing kind of towards you. That will help with the depth and your placement of your driftwood if you go about building it this way. This looks a little bit overexposed. So let's oh, where's that setting? Let's whoa, whoops. That's a little crazy. Let me go back to here, and then we'll move this. And before anybody freaks out, yeah, I got it fixed. I accidentally hit the button all the way to full exposure. What is on my nose? Do I have like glue on my nose? Oh, maybe I got glue on my nose. It's a good look. It's a good look for everybody that's around. Oh, Dwayne is here. What's up, Dwayne? How you doing? Oh, I know Steven Skoglund can be a moderator. I'm just gonna moderate. I'm gonna have him be a moderator now, because I trust Steven. So Rob Hicks is asking, I love the idea. What else can be used as a base, you think? There are a lot of things that you can use as a base. I prefer acrylic because it's the easiest thing for me to work with, and it is surprisingly cheap. If you go to any place that manufactures acrylic, you can go there and they have cut ends in bins for days, and you can just go through there and pick whatever kind you like. And they normally only charge by the pound, right? So you don't have to pay this real exorbitant price. The last time I went and got I believe they were like 10-inch by 12-inch sheets that were just under a half-inch thick. So I think they were I'm trying to think here for a second. Yeah, they're just under a half-inch thick. Like what, like 7/16? There we go. Jeez. What a yutz. But they were just under a half-inch, and then I think I got 4 or 5 of those for like I think it was like 16 bucks. So it was really nothing, because that's plenty of acrylic chunks for me to use for a really long time. And then I just put them in a bin, and then I'll just cut them up when it comes time to cut them up and use them for whatever I'm doing to make stuff out of them. But like I said, that is a hot tip for anybody out there. Go to a shop local to you that makes stuff out of acrylic, and you will be able to find all the acrylic pieces that you need, or you can actually have them just cut you whatever size you need. Rob Hicks is asking what kind of places sell it. You can realistically look up locally on Google, just like acrylic manufacturing near you. One of them is I don't know how to say your name. Wet Lawn Mulch. Oh, there we go. Wet Lawn Mulch. Saying plastics manufacturer. Yes, those guys, plastics manufacturer will generally not have that much, but like Tap Plastics in Western Washington is a place that I go to. There isn't one where we moved to, so I just looked it up on Google, and we found a place called K-Tech. They just happen to be called K-Tech, and they make acrylic stuff. There are a lot of places out there that make acrylic stuff. So all of that stuff that you see like at a bakery or whatever, the acrylic little cabinets that have donuts in them and stuff like that, are more often than not a local company that actually makes that stuff. Steven Scoglin's asking, does Home Depot sell pieces of acrylic? I feel like I saw some there a long time ago, but can't find it anymore. Yes, Home Depot does sell it. It is really expensive there, and you have to buy a big piece and cut it down, which that's where things start to get really expensive. So my acrylic saw blade, I have a saw blade for my table saw that cuts acrylic. That thing only cost $178, 180 bucks. After tax, it was $200 for the saw blade that cuts acrylic. So that's kind of a pain in the buns, realistically, when you think about it. That, oh, I want to cut some acrylic, it's going to cost me $200 to be able to cut it. And if you don't have a table saw, whichever table saw you want to get. As you guys see back up here, now that I've got that piece made, I'm putting the mosses on here. You saw me go through and put little daubs of essentially super glue gel type is what I'm using here. What is it? DAP. DAP is the one that I like personally, just because they have it at Home Depot and it's pretty cheap. It's like $4 for that big old bottle of it, and it goes a long way. So as you can see, hold on a second. Derek Runyon's asking what kind of moss is that? That's actually Phoenix moss. A really nice kind of delicate moss that grows a little bit weird. But as you guys can see, what I'm doing here, now that I have the little daubs, I have the piece of driftwood sitting so that this is the back of it. This is the back of it that will go up against the back of the tank. I have all these little daubs of glue here, and I'm adding little tiny pieces of moss that need to be, you basically just carefully pull them all apart until you get a little clump that's all having grown together. Don't worry about getting these clumps too small. They will grow over time, and that is the goal here. Always remember that when you're planting a tank or anything like that, you're not setting it up as a display the moment that you're done. The moment that you're done planting it, you're setting it up to grow. So that's why all these little bits of moss and everything like that are going to be in the back here, because as they start to grow up from the back of the piece of wood, they'll start to highlight the wood in front of it, and then all the greenery will be behind it. But every single piece of driftwood inside here is getting the plants on it. And that's what's going on. Mary Beth Mabe says Steenfot and Corey just went live. Cool, that's awesome. I'll be heading over there once this once our show is done. And I can see a bunch of people are leaving, which either way, cool. Those guys are all up in the club, if you know what I'm saying. AMA Aquatics, do you use super glue in your aquariums? If so, what brand, since we're both in the UK? As AMA said there, super glue gel. So it can be any kind of super glue. You just want to make sure you get the gel type. It's much easier to work with, and way easier to adhere plants and glue plants and that kind of stuff. Things that are going into aquariums, it's way easier to use the gel type. So yeah, okay. Bye, Mary Beth. See you later. So what is it made of? Unobtainium? Yes, Rurutu. It's basically made of unobtainium, the acrylic saw blade. It basically comes down to there being so many teeth on it. You need a lot of teeth on a saw blade. And you need a lot of teeth on a saw blade in order to cut acrylic. You need a buttload of teeth on it. Like, I think that one is, I think that blade is 140 teeth. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that number, but it's a lot of teeth on it. So there's just a ton of teeth going around the blade. Otherwise, it will get super hot and screw up the blow out the blade if you don't do that. If you don't use a blade that is ready to cut acrylic, it'll get super hot and you'll break teeth off of it while you're cutting stuff, which is hyper dangerous. And from a guy who cut his thumb off this year, it is a good reminder to be safe around saws because you might cut your thumb off. Oh, excuse me. Mary Beth Mabe was saying that she saw somebody cut holes in a tile and zip tie it to the tile. Yes, you could cut holes in a tile and zip tie it to a tile. The big problem is that the zip ties give out over time, and are not that fantastic once they've given out. Oh great, this video here is a little bit overexposed too. Oh, let's change this. Let's change this video so it's not overexposed. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Just yet another reason why I need to get Adobe. Steven Scoggin says, as a machinist, I approve this message. Yes, you definitely need to be safe with saw blades and not cut your thumb off like me. That is the best way to go about it. What is going on here? What is this? What? I don't know. XSplit started flashing for some reason. That was weird. All right. Well, if I go off air, blame XSplit. It wasn't me. Needs more teeth than a xenomorph. Yes, it does need more. Those blades need more teeth than a xenomorph. That's for sure. Let me catch up. Let me see here. Great question, Ella. How can you tell if wood is safe to put into an aquarium? Okay, that is pretty easy to answer in a kind of simple way. They need, and as Steven said there, usually hardwood. So anything that is considered a hardwood is fine. Never put, well, I don't want to say never put cedar in your tank, but do not put fresh cedar in a tank. And realistically, it's not a great idea to ever put cedar in an aquarium. I know there are a lot of people out there that have done it successfully, and some people get on here and, oh man, I put cedar in my mom's aquarium 25 years ago, and it's been fine since then. Okay, I get it. Some people have done it, and they've had success. Just generally speaking, don't use cedar, and generally only use hardwoods. Now, how can you figure out if something is a hardwood or not? Here is the easiest rule of thumb I can explain to everybody out there to find out whether or not. Oh, and Olympia Shrimp with a reminder: don't use black walnut. That is actually toxic. So you want to make sure that nothing has any kind of toxic things in it, anything that detracts bugs, basically, like cedar. Cedar has toxic chemical in it that makes bugs go away. Any wood that makes bugs go away, do not put in your aquarium. It will kill whatever critters you got in there, generally speaking. But the easy way to figure out if something is a hardwood is to figure out, does it grow fast or does it grow slowly? Okay. Now, how do we figure that out? How do we figure that out? Does it grow somewhere where there's a lot of water? Okay. A lot of times you can figure out that something is a fast-growing tree because it's just growing somewhere where there's a lot of water. Okay. So that's the easiest way to figure it out. So the easiest way to figure that out. So what I'm using here is manzanita. Manzanita essentially doesn't grow anywhere below, you know, kind of 2,000 foot elevation, right? It likes that dry, arid climate. It grows really slowly. It doesn't grow very big. It grows short. It doesn't grow straight and super tall and super fast, if that makes sense. So anything that's growing super tall, super fast in a really wet area generally might not be the best way to go if you're somebody who can't identify trees. Okay. Willow trees are generally a no-go unless you have a fully dried out piece of wood. Willow trees will be fine if they're dried out, but they will float like a Dickens. Okay, it's a big pain in the butt. So Tanksalot's asking, dried and debarked maple branches. I'm trying to remember maple branches. Maple's pretty quick growing, but if you were using the thicker branches, then yeah, you should be fine if they're nice and dried out. If it's a fresh chunk of maple, it will generally have some crap in it that could end up having some problems with the tank if it was brand new. But like birch is a perfect example that, like, brand new birch is generally a problem. But that big centerpiece that's in my 240 is actually birch roots. Okay, so we took those birch roots came up out of the ground. A birch tree fell over. The guy who grabbed it was the guy who cut the top off, the tree part, and took the root ball. We pressure washed the crap out of it, and then stuck it in a discus tank for a year. Then I got it. So that big piece in the middle there is actually birch, which generally speaking you wouldn't want to put birch in because it'll break down super fast, but the root ball on birches is actually fantastically pretty hard. So if that kind of makes sense, it's sort of case-by-case basis realistically when you get down to trees. But if you find ones that grow really slowly, oh, there's Motorhead's asking Madrona. Yes, Madrona is pretty good, and Madrona actually does grow pretty big. So oftentimes, if you can find them growing somewhere, you can oftentimes find some branches down below them that fell off a long time ago, and now they're nice and kind of dried out. Those Madrona branches are good. One issue that I have with Madrona branches around here is almost every Madrona tree is in a place where I am not allowed to go just get some, if that makes sense. And I generally don't ever see them when I'm out hiking, which is one of the weird things with that. I just don't see them when I'm out hiking. Potatoes gotta go. Gotta make Xmas happen in Salem tonight. I have no idea why you have to make Christmas happen in October. It should be Halloween time, right? Isn't it supposed to be Halloween time right now? Oh, weird. Turtle Girl, well, hello, I'm just an hour late. Well, well, it's better late than never. It's always good to make it out to the show if you all like the show. Go hiking with Bob. He get the wood from the wild. Yeah, I get the wood from the wild sometimes too. Bob normally, as far as I know, Bob normally drives out to where he goes and gets the wood. I typically don't. When I go hiking, we're normally 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles in, and the last thing I want to do is carry a big-ass branch back with me 10 miles. So that's why I don't want to do that. Though Tom Barr does that all the time, but he always hires college kids. He always hires college kids to do it for him, so it's his secret of hauling them back from the mountains. If you've ever seen Tom Barr's giant piles of manzanita that he has around his house. All right, well, we are at the 1 hour and 8 minute mark. We've actually gone over our hour, and So I want to give a shout out to the patronizers before we sign off here, because I feel like it's important. All the supporters out there, get a hello, get a hello. Oh, hey, FU2's asking, how about avocado wood? I don't have an answer for that one. I don't have an answer for avocado wood. I never run into avocado trees, so it just has never come up. Are the tannin in maple leaves good for your shrimp tank? Yes, if they're fully dried, and make sure there are absolutely no pesticides on them, which is really hard to be sure of these days. So just make sure that they have no pesticides on them, and that they're fully dried out, for sure. As Rurutu's saying, you can soak leaves in a bucket overnight before adding to your tank. Just make sure that they are, just make sure it's dechlorinated, clean water, and not some weird stuff. Oh, Jim Meeker's back with tacos. Well, he's just in time to hear the shout-outs real quick. I'll run through those. Turtle Girl, where do I go hiking? Rainier. Rainier is one of the places that we go hiking. Yes, for sure. We go hiking all over the place. If we could do it every single day of the week, that is what Vicky and I would probably be doing. That's probably what we'd be doing for sure. All right, so let me get a shout out to the patronizers out there. All the way at the top is the Aquarium Co-op at the $250 a month mark, which is crazy, and it's crazy and awesome. Thank you very much. Steven Scoglin at $40 a month. Kieran Egan at Eric Gone Mad at $40 a month. $39.99. And at the $20 marks, we've got Kieran Egan, the Fishy Mailman, a Sashimi Whiskey, and Long Woo. Thank you very much, you guys. Those are all of our top contributors, and everybody else is at the 10 and 5 and 1 and stuff. So we'll run through them real quick too. Joel Gillett, Pax, Vince Grippa, Denzel Gregory, Nick K. Aquatics, Rob Hicks, Matt Gilmet, Jack Betts, Cichlid Bro, M. Den Hollander, who's our first one. Hopefully he gets his shrimp painting soon. Jennifer J. Sarchicino, Pamela Earlywine, Bracken Ward, Kevin Keener, Theodore Schultz, Roger Dedham, Tim Lewis, Lecter Records, Candy Overhauls, Addison Nishijima, Jim Meeker, Karen Halbert, Eve Daggle, Kevin Hayes, Gene Fensky, aka Olympia Shrimpery, Karen KZK to the Zeta Ellis, Alexander Raidhan, must be new. I haven't read that before. Yes, brand new today. Dean Feldman, Steve Parker, Teresa Cookie, Spencer Ballard, AMA Aquatics, Matthew Weger-Hagerton, Priscilla MK, Jeff Jackson, Thomas Donchek, Nisi of the North, and Matthew. Yes! Those are all of our patronizers. Thank you very much, you guys. I for sure appreciate everyone's contributions. That is all goes into making this show. It all goes into trying to get to Chicago. We have the tickets. Now I just have to pay back Vicky's credit card. So I have to pay that back. We have the tickets. Be heading out there. Definitely have to buy a bunch of stuff that we're going to be giving away at the aquatic experience. And whatnot, and I don't want to end up having to charge people for it and stuff like that. So that's what we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to do it. We'll see how it goes. Oh, Ella Gregory, Japanese maple. I'll have to look into the Japanese maple, whether it's hardwood or not. I don't think so. Well, maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'll have to look into that. But yeah, maple is hardwood, but I'm not sure if the Japanese maples are or not. But I'll look into that. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. Hope you have a fantastic week. Hope all the news the rest of this week is a little less traumatic, and everybody has a great time out there. Steven Scoglin says, we appreciate your contribution to the community. Thanks a million. I will check out Steven's new shrimp painting video. Yeah, Steven Skoglund got his shrimp painting and stuff like that. So, Rob Hicks Aquarium says, hit that like button. It's free and it's fun to hit it. Yes, I do much appreciate you guys hitting the like button. It's, for whatever reason, it's super important to YouTube. I don't know why. The robots think it's important. So, thanks for coming out. We'll see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And have a great night, everybody, and stay safe out there. Later. It's so loud. Later.